I can't wait to spill your blood.
Did you just threaten me? I'll show you what I do to those who threaten me.
Cheer, people, what's good? Welcome. Hope you fellas are safe and well. Hope you fellas are enjoying your Labour weekend. I certainly am. I've been looking forward to this Labour weekend for like ages, because you get, or at least for me, I'm lucky to get the Friday and the Monday off. So that's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 4 days in a row, no work. Like, dude, I've been hanging out for this Labour weekend, counting down the days on the calendar. 3 days to go, 2 days to go, 1 day to go. So, man, look, I thought I'd like give a quick shout out to all of my brothers and sisters who have been slaving away, working for the man. Shout out to you fellas, and I hope that you have a good, safe, chillaxed Labour weekend. With that being said, I thought that I'd take this time to make a first impressions of Middle-earth: Shadow of War, which is the sequel to Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. If you've played the game, you'll know, obviously. Now, for those of you who have been following the media and social media and stuff like that, you'll know that there's been a lot of controversy regarding the loot crates and the microtransactions. Now, for me, I played and I've clocked Shadow of Mordor, and ever since they've released, like, ever since they announced Shadow of War, I've been very excited to play the sequel. But with the whole, and even though there's this whole loot crates controversy and all that, even with all of that, I still really wanted to play the game though. But I noticed a lot of people weren't very happy with these microtransactions and that in Shadow of War, which is understandable because it is a single player game. A full-priced single-player game, a AAA game, and they've still got these microtransactions. So I do understand where people are coming from, but at the same time, even with all of those, I still really wanted to play the game day one. So, I mean, look, I bought the game day one, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, okay, because I know a lot of people wanted to boycott it, which is, hey, man, look, that's your, you do what, it's your money, your choice. You do whatever you want to do. If you want to buy it, or if you don't want to buy it, hey, man, look, that's your money, you do what you need to do. But for me, I need to do what I need to do, and I bought the game because I've been hanging out. I'm really dying. I've been looking forward to playing the sequel, so that's that. So I just bought it anyways, and as of like, I've pretty much taken out all 4 of the fortresses. I just finished doing my 4th one, which was a real hard one too, but I've managed to like conquer, to siege all of the like the 4 fortresses, and to be quite honest, I have not felt like I've wasted my money. Like I have no regrets buying this game day one. I mean, yes, there are the microtransactions does sort of pop up, every now and again, and then you've got the pause menu. It's sort of down in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You've got the little, marketplace and all that. But for me, man, look, I've really enjoyed the game, eh? I've not bought any loot crates. I've bought no microtransactions. I've just been grinding, playing the game as you would normally do with any other single-player game. For me, the loot crates aren't a big deal, and they're not really in my face, so I don't, but hey, look, that's just me, but I know other people aren't really, they don't want to, they don't want all of that stuff in their single-player games, which is fine. But with that being said, I have no regrets. I've been playing this game after work. I've been thinking about it while I was at work. I'm like, bro, I can't wait for work to end. Roll on 4:30. Let's go. Need to get some of that Shadow of War. But yeah, that's how I feel, and I've no regrets on buying this game day one, man. I've been enjoying myself hearty, absolute hearty. Yeah, so for me, right, so if you played Shadow of Mordor and you liked the combat, you know, you liked all that combat upgrading skill stuff, that is in Shadow of War. You know, pretty much the combat is pretty much the same, actually. You know, the combat is nice, fluent, loose, very loose, so you can just keep, you know, attack, counter, attack, and do your execution, and, you know, you just get into the rhythm. You just sort of get a roll on, get a rhythm on, and it's really cool. You know, very loose, smooth, just like the first one. However, the skills have been changed up. So they've kind of like broken up the skills, whereas in the first game you sort of had all of the skills sort of, you know, you can buy each and every skill and you can use them, whereas in this game you kind of they've sort of broken the skills down so that you can sort of customize Talion the way you want to, sort of a thing, because you get to choose which upgrades you can purchase, and those upgrades are connected to the skill tree, and that it is kind of a big, you know, they've really sort of redone the skill tree a little bit, made it a little bit more in depth. Yeah, and you can sort of customize Talion the way that you want to. However, you have to keep in mind each skill you can only equip one upgrade per skill. So you have to sort of go into the skill menu, read the description of the upgrades, and then pick which upgrade you want for each skill type thing. Yeah, so that's pretty cool, I guess. You know, that's fine, but you just can't equip multiple upgrades. More often than not, there are some skills where you can only equip one upgrade, and that's that. You sort of have to choose between, you know, which one do you want more, which one caters to your gameplay style, sort of a thing. If you're follow if you're following me. Yeah, but I think where this game really shines is definitely the Nemesis system. You know, they've taken what they've done with Mordor, and they've put it and they've sort of taken it and put it into War, but they've also added a lot more stuff. Like, so the Uruk captains that so look, okay, hold on. You've got you've got worms that you can interrogate. So you interrogate the worms to sort of gain intel on certain orcs, Uruk captains. Each captain has strengths and weaknesses, and you know, once you've interrogated a worm, you find a person's the captain's weakness, and you exploit the weaknesses, you know, stuff like that, similar to the Mordor. But you can also dominate an orc as well, so you can either kill an Uruk captain or dominate him and have him fight on your side, which is like really cool. And you can also assign him to be your personal bodyguard if you wish. So if you're fighting in the wild and you find out, oh crap, I'm getting, you know, my butt whooped, you can summon your bodyguard and he'll come and fight for you, the Uruk captain that's been dominated by you. So pretty much any and all Uruk captains that you come across can be dominated if you want to. But each Uruk has a rank, so you might encounter an Uruk captain or an Orc captain or whatever that might be rank 25, and depending on Talion's rank, he can dominate that Orc captain. But your Talion and the Orc captain must be at least the same, rank or under. Oh, well, the Orc captain needs to be the same rank as Talion or under in order to dominate him. So if your Talion is rank 25, your Orc captain that you want to dominate has to be 25 or under his rank. But if, let's say, your Talion's 25 and the Orc captain might be rank 30, then you have to shame, sort of defeat the orc captain, shame him, and then encounter that same orc again a second time, and then you can dominate him. Because when you shame an orc captain, you lower his rank. So he might be a 30 orc. Once you shame that orc captain, his rank will go down to 24, let's say. And then you re-encounter him again, attack him, defeat him, dominate him. Sort of a thing. It is kind of a big, you know, if you're not following, yeah, yeah, that's sort of how it goes. So each orc captain has a rank, and you as Talion, you have to match his rank in order to dominate him if you wish. And then you've got the war chiefs. So each war chief also has bodyguards. So you as Talion can either attack him just outright, him and his bodyguards, or you can go and dominate a war chief's bodyguards and make them fight for you. So then once you encounter the war chief, his bodyguards will backstab him because they don't fight for him, they fight for you, now that you've dominated them. Sort of a thing if you're following. So it is kind of quite big, and it is sort of in depth here. And then once a war chief is dead, then you, Talion or whatever, the player can assign one of his dominated orc captains to be a war chief. But in order to do that, the orc captain must, what is it? Hold on, let me. The orc captain must participate in a fighting pit, 1v1 challenge fighting pit to the death. If your orc captain is victorious, he will then be promoted to war chief. And then now that he's a war chief, he can sabotage the fort, which is pretty much the main purpose of the whole Nemesis system. The main purpose of the game is to siege on a fort, sort of a thing. Each area of the map, there's a map, and there's like 4 fortresses. You can go into each fortress, you know, dominate orcs, dominate war chiefs, and then once you go and attack the fort, the war chiefs that are fighting for you will sabotage the fort and make it easier for you to infiltrate the fort and take it over. The only thing that you have to watch out for is the Overlord, and he's the main man right on top of the fort. He's the big boss, the boss man who sits and waits for you in his throne room. You know, and then you go ahead and defeat him. Once you've defeated the Overlord, then you get the fort is yours, as well as the whole map that fort is in. So the whole area, the fort, everything is now the Bright Lord. Yeah, it's all for you. It's all yours. You've pretty much controlled all of it, sort of a thing. So, you know, it's a big step up. You know, there are Uruk, so your dominated orc captains can betray you. So just because you've dominated them doesn't necessarily mean that they'll always fight for you, because I've had an orc captain that I dominated, and he turned and he betrayed me, so I just killed him. You know, sort of a thing. So they can betray you. So just because you dominated them does not mean that that they will fight for you always, forever and always, because there's a chance they might backstab you as well, and I just kill them. I don't bother trying to recruit them again, because once they've betrayed me, like, who's to say they won't betray me again a second time, sort of a thing. So if an orc captain does betray you, I say just kill him, outright kill him. Like, he can't be trusted. Sort of a thing. Yeah, but I mean, it's a huge game. I mean, if you've played Mordor, you would definitely like this game. The storyline is a bit better, You know, it's a bit more like together. The pieces sort of do make sense and they do fit in the overall arc, like in the overall arc of the actual story in that. You know, I mean, it's a lot better than Mordor because I thought Mordor's storyline was okay. It was meh. You know, it was okay. You know, it wasn't bad or anything. It was fine. But I like this story a little bit better. Um, Keep in mind though, the gameplay can be monotonous and can be tedious. So if you don't like replaying, sort of facing the same orc multiple times and trying to siege the fort multiple times and stuff, you might get a bit tedious. You know, because you just grind pretty much in order to get more powerful. There's a loot system here. So, you know, so if you're facing a legendary orc captain and you kill him, he drops loot for you, better armor, better weapons for you to fight with, um, stuff like that to upgrade your Talion, make him stronger. You know, it is, you know, yeah, so there's a loot system. You have to keep grinding, keep grinding. Um, but, I mean, I've been enjoying myself a hell of a lot. Really enjoying myself, and for me, even with the loot crates and that, there really is no need. Well, I mean, I don't think so. I still haven't beaten the game, so keep that in mind. This is not a review. This is just the first impressions, you know. But I've put a lot of hours into this game. I'm not too sure how many. I'll have to go check. I forgot to check the statistics actually, so I'm not entirely certain how many hours I've done. But what is it? I've conquered 4 fortresses though, and I just need to do the last one, the last fortress, the 5th and final fortress. Once that's done, I think I've beaten the game. I don't know. I'm not too sure how it works, but yeah, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I recommend you, if you've been looking at this game but not too sure because of the microtransactions, bro. For me, like, I don't think you've got anything to worry about really. The loot boxes and all that, they're all, you know, they're not even that. Like, I don't see them as very important, or they don't. Like, I never felt like I needed to buy any. You know how in some games you play the game and you're like, geez, why am I dying so much? And, you know, this is just too OP. Like, how am I supposed to attack? You know, I've never really felt that way to the point where, oh, let me have a quick look at them loot boxes. You know, I've just grinding in that. It's all about just sort of ranking up grinding. But hey, it's really up to you if you want to buy this game or if you want to catch it on a sale, maybe. You know, there might be more you. But for me, man, I'm glad I bought it. Like, I'm having a lot of fun, a hell of a lot of fun with this Shadow of War. Big fan too. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of my first impressions. This was a bit too long actually, but oh well, I just go with the flow. But yeah, I hope you fellas are well, safe, keep safe this Labour weekend, and yeah, guess I'll catch you fellas up in my next video. Peace.